Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Briareos Kerensky, and this is the review of Assault Suit Leynos for the PS4 by Dracue Software, a part of the 1990 Mega Drive title. Assault Suit Leynos is the first game in the Assault Suit series, comprising Leynos on the Mega Drive, Assault Suit Vulcan on the Super NES, and Assault Suit Leynos 2 on the Saturn. The first two games reach Western shores at Target Earth and Cybernator respectively. Originally developed by Masaya, duty for this port moved to Dracue Software, the same guys behind Gunhound and Gunhound EX, available for the PSP and PC. Gunhound EX played exactly like Cybernator, and Dracue is the best we could have hoped for porting Leynos on modern consoles. But Dracue are a small team, and redoing a game from the ground up is not an easy task. I'm happy to say that they succeeded for the most part, with mostly only technical snags to weigh the port down. In Assault Suit Leynos, you take the role of a brave mech pilot trying to drive away from Earth an invading enemy force. The story is told through simple briefing and dialogue scattered throughout missions. It's lifted wholesale from late 80s, early 90s animes, and today it won't really make an impact, but back in the day it was rather striking to have a side-scroller with a consistent cast of characters and missions following a complex storyline.
助けてくれ！スーツが燃えちまう！
The Assault Suit you pilot is equipped by default with a backpack to sprint and hover for a small period of time, a shield, and mighty iron fists for close-range fighting. Weapon loadout is completely up to the player, though only the starting machine gun and few other weapons have infinite ammo. New weapons are awarded at the end of a mission, with better weapons locked behind bonus objectives, like destroying a certain number of enemies, reaching the goal within a certain time limit, or stopping enemies getting too close to your home base. Empty weapons can be discarded, but will be reloaded if brought back home. The selection is vast, with machine guns, shotguns, bazookas, grenade launchers, homing missiles, cluster missiles, lasers, and more. Every weapon has its own abilities, allowing players to tailor loadouts based on personal tastes and mission at hand. When loading your Assault Suit, it's possible to remove all equipment and face missions with fists only, though the backpack is needed on some maps. The suit has a life bar that recharges over time, but mission structure forces you to move forward, leaving little time to sit around waiting for a full health bar. There are no health pickups. Dodging and using the shield are your best friends against enemy bullets. There is only one life per stage, though you can spend one or more equipment slots for extra armors to act as one, replenishing your health after a fatal hit. Just like weapons, armors are not unlimited and have to be earned during missions, though they are among the most common rewards. If you've played Gunhound EX or Cybernator, controls are immediate. Your suit has a well-defined weight that affects all its movements. The gun is rotated around the mech, every weapon has a reload time, spread, and projectile speed, with the whole game revolving around these limitations. In the few zero-G stages, you'll also have to think about inertia. In this modern incarnation, Leynos gained the ability to quickly cycle through weapons, lock the aiming angle, and have one weapon and the fists always at the ready, greatly improving controls compared to the original. The downside is that the suit feels more like Cybernator or Leynos 2 than the first Leynos. I'd say that this is an improvement nonetheless. The aim lock alone is a huge addition. There are two main game modes available in this port, Arcade and Classic. Classic is buried in the option menu for some reason. Game start on the title screen will bring players straight to arcade. Classic mode, as the name implies, it's a faithful port of the Mega Drive original. No voiceovers on dialogues, original soundtrack, respawning enemies, slower regenerating life bar, loadout is selected at the start of a mission. This mode is not 100% like the original, some bonus objectives and weapon balancing have changed. Enemies are much more relentless than before, and to my knowledge the trick to get all weapons in stage 1 is no longer there, or at least much harder to accomplish. Arcade mode features a revamped soundtrack, voices, fixed number of enemies, and loadout is selected before mission start. It's the easiest of the two. If you are used to Cybernator or Gunhound, it shouldn't take too much time completing it in normal mode. Arcade mode has introductions for certain enemies, bosses or mission phases. These don't add much to the game. In fact, I found them annoying because they take away the camera from your suit without pausing the game. While you are invincible and can still move and shoot, enemies will swarm you during these cuts. In one case, you'll be moved to a specific location, actually making a mission harder. These two modes share the same level design and overall enemy placement, though there are a few differences here and there. These don't make two missions completely different, but the distinct pacing and level of challenge really separates the two modes, making them both worth playing. Some levels also offer a different way to approach them, like the space station in stage 7. Stages aren't as complex as in Cybernator, but even simple stages are set in a number of ways to keep things interesting, and it's always nice to see how much you can push yourself within the time limits. There aren't that many enemy types, unfortunately, though a lot are only seen in few stages. Bosses are often seen again in later stages, with only a handful being one-time encounters. Those that are, unfortunately, still play very close to their original version, and might come off as a bit too easy for your suite's expanded abilities. Locking weapons in any direction really makes bosses in zero-G environments easier. It's nice not having to fight against controls, but Dracue should have improved boss patterns to accommodate for those, at least in arcade mode. Graphics have of course been revamped, and this is where the limitation of the development team come into play. There is no denying that graphics look very nice, with a lot of small details like the spinning barrels of the standard machine gun, the spent cartridges flying around, your suite's fluid animations, and the various lighting effects that affect the whole screen, all in glorious 1080p 60, but the camera likes to zoom in and out, and the game engine apparently just can't handle scaling, with severe pixelization on every single element. Some large bullets and background elements look particularly nasty, with some secondary sprites looking lifted straight from Gunhound EX and given a very quick facelift. This doesn't change the fact that the game is good, but apparently relies on a tweaked version of the Gunhound EX graphical engine that clearly shows limitations on what artists can achieve. Sometimes perspectives clash, as your suite is viewed from the side, but large battleships, for example, are represented from a slanted point of view. I guess it's better than having everything viewed from the side, but it's impossible not to notice striding point of views. If Dracue gets to do another game, and I really hope they do, I'd like for them to sort out scaling issues. Just like in Gunhound EX, racking up points unlocks various extras. These include weapons for the stage select mode, various aids, and even the ability to hide parts of the on-screen interface. There is a lot to unlock, more than enough to keep the interest going between arcade and classic modes in various difficulty settings. There are 3 training missions with their own set of bonus objectives too. As for extras, Dracue included a BGM mode and 3 different galleries. The first gallery features sketches from the sport, including enemies, bosses, characters and promo material, plus what appears to be the whole script for the cutscenes. The other 2 galleries are dedicated to the original Leynos. There is the whole manual and another set of groundwork material for the game. There is a lot in these galleries, and they are unlocked from the very start. However, like in-game graphics, there is no anti-aliasing when pages are zoomed out and some of them aren't that smooth at their original size. I wonder if people have Dracue dislike high-resolution stuff. The PS4 port of Assault Suit Leynos clearly shows that Dracue Software have their hearts in the right place. The game is good, and there is a lot of stuff to go through. However, it also shows that Dracue don't quite have the technical side completely nailed down, being it for lack of resources, skills or funds. The technical shortcomings don't affect how the game runs and plays, and are therefore of secondary concern, but any future title must have those ironed out. Will Dracue attempt to remake Assault Suit Vulcan? I desperately hope so, it's my favorite in the series, but I'd be much more happy if they went for something original. Gunhound EX shown that they can come up with some pretty good stuff for level design, and ports will only limit their imagination. At the time of this review, Assault Suit Leynos is only available as an import on the PS4. Maybe it will reach a broader audience on the PC like Gunhound EX did, but there might be licensing issues to constrain the title. Whatever will happen, and if you like big robots, get this port, you won't be disappointed. I hope you have enjoyed this review and you stick around for more. Briareos Kerensky, over and out.
戦闘艦のブースト機能が停止した。こいつはもうただのガラクタだ。
作戦成功です。前期起動してください。